Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Prior Lake Spring Lake Watershed District meeting for Tuesday, September 16th. And our first order of business is to call this meeting to order and stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. All rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, our next item of business is to approve the agenda before us. Is there any changes from staff? Those changes? Any changes from the board? No. Motion by Manager Boyles. Second. Second by Manager Tofanelli to approve the agenda. All in favor of that motion say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. And now we have item public comment. Is there anybody from the public who wants to speak? Not seeing anybody. So we'll just go ahead with our next item on the agenda, which is a public hearing for Highway 13 wetland excavation project. And to start this off, we need a motion to open the public hearing. So moved. Motion by Manager Burnett. Second. Second by Manager Tofanelli. All in favor of the motion to open the public hearing, say aye. 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 Opposed? Motion carries unanimously 4-0. And with that, I will turn it over to staff for a presentation on the project.
Great. I'll present some facts, and then if there is any public comment, they can come forward in this public hearing.
Okay, well, usually we have a presentation, so then the public, if there's any comment. Is there anybody from the want to make a comment? Nope. Okay, I guess.
Okay, we were on the same wavelength, but I didn't say it well. So just to give some background, the Highway 13 wetland excavation is related to a wetland that is located just near the intersection of 13, 282, and 17. And it's near the downstream end of County Ditch 13. This wetland was enhanced in 1997, dug out to provide pre-treatment for our ferric chloride system. We've been monitoring it. That pre-treatment is generally just settling, so making sure that our water is less turbid will ensure that our ferric chloride treatment is more effective. So we have been monitoring how that's been filling in. We did a survey in 2010, 2017, 2024, and those have all showed that sediment is accumulating. It's reached the end of its useful lifetime of that original excavation, which was part of the design. We knew that this would fill in as a sedimentation basin. And so now if we want to maintain that function that it was providing, we would need to excavate the wetland. We also are planning to excavate it to an enhanced depth, which would provide us extra settling, some additional storage, some additional wetland restoration, and just longer times between those maintenance periods. The estimated cost would be $682,700, and we would anticipate to fund that through bonding or district levy. So with that, I'll take any questions. Or
okay. Any questions from the board or Emily? And now we'd say, is there any comments from the public after hearing that great presentation? No, I guess not. So I would look for a motion to close the public hearing. So moved. Motion by Manager Boyles. Second. Second by Manager Burnett. All in favor of closing the public hearing, say aye. 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 Opposed? Motion carried 4-0. Now associated with this public hearing is a resolution 25402, which would be ordering the Highway 13 wetland excavation project. I don't think we need any more information from staff. Okay, so motion to approve the resolution by Manager Boyles. Second. Second by Manager Tofanelli. Any discussion on the resolution to ordering the Highway 13 wetland excavation project? Any discussion? Okay, so we're ready to vote. All in favor of this resolution, say aye. 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 Opposed? Motion carried 4-0. And that ends that public hearing for that project. So we're going to the next public hearing, which is a desilt pond improvement project. And we have that on the screen there, or up on our screens. So I need a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved.
Motion by Manager Tofinelli. Second by Manager Burnett. All in favor of opening the public hearing, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried unanimously. Okay, we'll have a little presentation on this project.
Great. Thank you, Manager Loney. So this pond, we call the desilt pond, short for desiltation, is just downstream of Highway 13 wetland. It is where the ferric chloride treatment is applied and allows phosphorus to flush out and settle in that pond. We are currently completing a feasibility study with EOR on improvements to the desilt pond. We've completed task 1 and 2, which have provided the substance of what types of improvements would create benefit. And those improvements that we found are beneficial would be to raise the high flow bypass, to create an additional inlet pipe, and to construct an weir. The refinements that will happen in the last task are really very slight, a size of pipe or elevation of the weir. So we, as staff, felt it was appropriate to move forward with project ordering. As we were noticing for these other ones, it streamlines the process and saves the district some money in noticing. The modifications, as they're planned, would estimate to reduce 238 to 280 pounds per year, and we anticipate that we would seek grant funding for the construction of those. With that, I'll hand it over to public hearing.
Okay, any questions for Emily on the project? I think we've had this discussion in a couple workshops. I don't see if there's any. Anybody from the audience wish to talk or address the board on this project? Okay, not seeing any. Hey, we ask entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So, second.
Motion made by Manager Burnett, second by Manager Tofinelli. That was a close one there. Okay, all in favor of closing the public hearing, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried unanimously. Now, associated with this project is Resolution 25403, which would be ordering the desilt pond improvement project. Someone want to make a motion for that resolution?
So moved.
Motion made by Manager Burnett,
Second.
second by Manager Tofinelli. Any discussion on the resolution on the project ordering the improvements we just heard about? No discussion, okay. Then I assume you're ready to vote. All in favor of Resolution 25403, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried unanimously. Okay, I think now we're at our third public hearing, which is the Prior Lake Outlet Channel Segment 1 Channel Stabilization Project. I need a motion to open this public hearing.
So moved.
Motion by Manager Boyles.
Second.
Second by Manager Tofinelli. All in favor of opening this public hearing, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. We have a public hearing now. And I'm turning this over to Danielle, I believe.
Yes, thank you. So Prior Lake Outlet Channel, much of it has been stabilized since the 2014 flood through FEMA and follow-up work. So this area at the intersection of 42 and 21, and then just a bit south of that near Jeffers Pass, has some erosion. It's the last part of the outlet channel that needs to be stabilized. In the 2024 technical memo from EOR, they identified some erosion. So this project is to stabilize the banks in this area and do some work to reduce erosion within the channel. The Prior Lake Outlet Channel Cooperators approved this project as part of the 2026 work plan and budget, and also approved a scope of services with EOR for design and construction oversight. The cost of this project is estimated at $208,000 with an 87% contribution from the district. And we expect construction in the next year.
Okay, and that 208,000, that's total, like you say, total cost.
Total costs, yes.
Okay. Any questions for staff on this project presentation? Okay, it looks like we're pretty satisfied up here. Anybody from the public wishes to comment on this project? Not seeing any. I would entertain a motion to close the public hearing. Motion by Manager Tofinelli. Second by Manager Burnett. All in favor of closing this public hearing, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried unanimously, 4-0. All right, associated with this project then is Resolution 25404, ordering the Prior Lake Outlet Channel Segment 1 Channel Stabilization Project. Someone want to make a motion to approve that? Who did that? Did you, Frank? Yeah. Motion made by Manager Boyles. Second by Manager Burnett. Okay, any further discussion on this project? You know, this is with the PLOC, and it'll be going on next year. And then we did put that in our budget. No more discussion. Okay, all in favor of the motion to approve Resolution 25404, say aye. Aye. Opposed, or anybody opposed? Motion carried 4-0. And I think that is the end of our public hearings for tonight, 3 of them. So now we're going to go to old and new business. We start out with programs and project updates from staff.
Thank you. So we have a short monitoring update, just an update on lake levels. Prior Lake is at 902.37, and Spring Lake is at 910.57 elevation. We've seen about a 6-inch drop in the last month. Not a lot of rain coming through. Moving on to the education program, unless you have any questions. So last night, I attended the Fall Community Fest with one of our CAC members, Anna, and we talked about chloride pollution and how to mitigate chloride pollution through salting of sidewalks and driveways. We provided some handouts on using different de-icers and how to use them properly on illicit discharge. And then we also gave out some stickers and some drawstring bags, and those were pretty popular with the kids and adults alike. We talked to about 40 to 50 people directly. Lots of people were peering over their shoulder at us, so lots of good conversations. A lot of people said they do not use de-icers, so that was good to hear. And then upcoming events, we have been working on our second annual Watershed Week, a little bit different time of year this year. So this is coming up September 28th to October 4th. We have 4 free events happening. On Sunday, September 28th, we will be going on a tour of some of the lesser seen lakes, kind of the headwater lakes of our watershed. Most of these do not have any public access, so it's kind of a unique opportunity for people to see these, open to the public. We'll be stopping at Swamp Lake. We have a project that's just starting construction right by Swamp Lake, so that will be nice to see. At Sutton Lake, Fish Lake, and Buck Lake will be our last stop. We'll be talking about the ecology of those lakes, the water quality, just kind of highlighting their importance within our watershed. On October 1st, we will be having a nature writing workshop, so I like to have kind of an art event during Watershed Week to meet people where they're at, provide different ways to think about the watershed and learn about it. So Lori Ullman is an author. She's originally from the Jordan area. She has done a lot of writing workshops throughout the state. She just completed a residency program at a nonprofit that focused on watershed topics within the writing workshops that she hosted. So I think it'll be a really great fit. It's kind of a longer workshop, so if it's open to all levels. If you want to try your hand at some nature writing, this would be a great opportunity, low pressure. On October 3rd, we'll have a geocaching event. Three Rivers is kind of setting that up and hosting that for us. So that will be great for families. We advertised all of these events at the Fall Community Fest last night, and that one seemed quite popular with people stopping by. We had a few signups from the tabling event. That's going to be at Spring Lake Park on October 3rd, and then on October 4th, we have a volunteer event. We did the same one last year. It is at the end of South Shore Drive by Spring Lake. Just be learning about ways to remove buckthorn, the harms of buckthorn, and then we'll be getting to work. All right, and that's all I have. Also coming up this month, we have some presentations for Prior Lake Association and the Prior Lake Community Engagement Committee. And we'll also be helping the Scott Soil and Water Conservation District with their outdoor education days. So lots of outreach and education in September this year. Any questions?
A lot of stuff happening next week or a couple weeks.
What's that?
Okay.
Oh.
Thank you. Project status date?
Okay, mine is pretty brief today too, but just to give you an update on a few of the projects that are wrapping up and ramping up. So the first one that's getting off the ground here is the Swamp Iron Enhanced Sand Filter. We have an update that the staking and sediment control, they've been doing silt fencing, has begun. There's big equipment out at the site, and construction is underway. There's also some outreach elements to this project tied to one of the grants we received. So you'll see the picture on the left is a picture of a time-lapse camera. We'll be getting time-lapse footage from the construction, which we'll be able to use in our materials and could be a really cool tool for us. We've also contracted with 2 different film production companies that are giving us a very incredible rate for their skills. So we'll have some really neat products that come along with the construction of this project. And then on the other side of the spectrum, chloride improvements. We did updates to this facility over the last year. The building work is officially closed out with this claims list approval. However, the driveway contractor, they have completed all the work accepting some items on the punch list. They have been non-responsive in those remaining items. They're very small. So we're working with legal counsel, but we may pursue contract termination and do those small items in-house. One of the items is installing no trespassing signs, which is an easy task. So we'll be moving forward with the easiest pathway there. And then, because I like to give, when there are hiccups in projects, some scope of how successful we've been in our capital projects, some highlights. Just to give you some recent successes, the Buck Stream Stabilization Project, which Mike Majeski worked on at EOR, was under budget around just over $50,000. That was due to really great design that used existing materials on the site, and then a very capable contractor who specializes in that type of work. Then the PLOC pipelining was also under budget, or $47,000 roughly, and they used less materials than they quoted for. The Swamp Iron Enhanced Sand Filter is expected to be under budget, roughly $80,000, and that's due to a really competitive quote we got. So we're excited that those dollars will be put to use in other great ways. And then one of the less direct dollar focused, but I think a really good sign of health, is that we have active relationships with grant managers and staff at Bowser and MPCA now, and they have actually encouraged our participation in grant programs. Hey, do you know about this? And they provide that service to all of their constituents, but we have a really good relationship and work through grant applications and what's coming down the pipeline ahead of time. Had a great meeting with MPCA, so I think our upcoming projects, many of them will be competitive and bode well for us with keeping the momentum. So I just wanted to share those successes.
Yep, you should put a dollar, excuse me, you should put a dollar amount on those savings as grants.
Oh, with grants, yeah,
Yeah, I mean, that was a
exactly.
great savings to our budgets and the taxpayers.
Yeah,
So, I mean, you showed how much you're under budget in the project, but the grants that we got were over $1 million, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Good, I mean, I just thought we'd throw that out there
Yep.
so that,
Yeah, quick math, it's like 900,000 for pipelining, swamp is 400, and then Buckstream is 100 some too, yeah.
yeah, so,
So over $1
I
million.
mean, I just want to make sure people know that we're spending their money and other people's monies wisely.
Yep. And saving that money allows us to jump on easements when we're able to get them, to keep the next project going. So I appreciate that from the ground too. And then another highlight I wanted to give is that we're having a lot of really interesting things come through our cost share program this year. Our cost share program works with residents and helps fund projects that would prevent erosion of nutrients or soil. It engages people in making action on their property. So a couple exciting ones coming down the pipeline are that we have 2.5 acres that are going to be converted from cropland to native prairie, which is a really great water quality win. We'll see some good phosphorus reduction for very little money on that. The second bullet, which is really exciting to me, is that we have a new producer that has never done cover crop with our incentive programs before. And because of the increased incentives that Soil and Water has this year, they were tempted to try. And I think that's a really good sign to get the next group of people over the hurdle of trying a new practice. We have a larger cost share project that could occur on Spring Lake Channel to address stream bank erosion. And then there's a proposed grassed inlet in the Spring West ditch. So all of these would prevent erosion coming directly into our water bodies that are impaired. And then the last thing is just to say that these are great projects, and currently, if all of them are to go forward, the demand is larger than the budget. So we are prioritizing the best bang for our buck, but that's really good to see that we have that much engagement. And that's all for me.
Okay, any questions from the board? Can you go back all the way to your first slide? I think I had a question. Not that one, next one, next one, next one. Yeah, you got a film company or filming the project. Is that something you actually could go on the web and watch? Or is that something, I know some projects do that, they have a live stream, but is this just something you're filming and for resource later, or can you actually go online and see it?
Good question. It is not a live camera. We would have to get cellular service and solar power, and so this is just a simple camera that has a battery in it. But afterwards, you will be able to watch it move quickly.
Okay. That's pretty neat. That's going to be great. Okay, I don't have any other questions. I guess welcome aboard. Thank you. Thanks, staff. Good reporting. Okay, well, now it's time for Joni to talk on Minnesota Watershed Resolution, item 7.2.
President Loney and managers. For the last 2 years, Scale has been investigating feasibility of creating a self-insurance pool for health benefits. And recently, we just realized that state statutes do not include watershed districts as a governmental entity that can self-insure or join a self-insurance pool. While the study isn't far enough along yet to really know whether this is a good move for us to join this pool or not, we would like to have that opportunity should we find out that it is beneficial in our best interest to join the pool. So annually, well, let me back up. We have approached this subject with the Scale Legislative Committee for consideration. Additionally, annually, the Minnesota Watershed solicits legislative priorities for the next legislative session from its members. They had their first round of reviewing and voting on proposed resolutions on August 25th. So we missed that deadline, but the Minnesota Watersheds Executive Director informed me that there still is a second chance for us to submit a resolution and have it be considered and voted on at the annual conference for Minnesota Watersheds in December. So the requirement to submit a proposed resolution for consideration with Minnesota Watersheds is that we have to provide some background information about the issue at hand, and then a draft resolution for Minnesota Watersheds use, which are both have been attached in the board packet. So staff is recommending that the board make a motion to authorize the district administrator to submit a resolution, background information, and proposed resolution seeking revision to Minnesota Statute 471.617 to include watershed districts and watershed management organizations to Minnesota watersheds with any further non-substantive changes on advice of legal counsel.
A motion made by Manager Boyle,
Second.
second by Manager Tofinelli. Okay, so we have this on the table now. We can ask any questions. Any questions on this proposed resolution? Frank, you have any thoughts? It was your baby.
I clearly know where we need to go on this one. I think it was oversight in the statutes. I don't think this was intentional.
No.
So we're trying to clean this up so we don't have this kind of thing happen, at least on this particular
Yeah.
project.
It definitely clears it up. I mean, I think there is some confusion, but this will definitely put us in the mix if we want to get a consortium. So I think we have a motion and a second. Any more questions? Nope. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carried 4-0. Okay, we're at the point of our agenda here for the treasurer's report. And I am filling in for Manager Morkenberg the best that I can. And if you look at the expenditures, this reflects the payment of the Scott SWCD quarterly invoice. So there's a pretty good invoice there, along with our summer monitoring and AIS prevention activity, which is pretty big during the summer months. Overall expenditures are within budget and at a level we would expect for this time of year. The cash flow is what you're probably most interested in, is we have a revised statement for the first 6 months of 2026, and that is reflecting our budget, our rough budget that we did approve in August. So the cash flow statement, we will have adequate cash available to fund operations for the next 12 months. And we also did get the receipt of our MPCA funds, which then, for the PLOC pipeline project, the restricted funds have been returned into a positive balance because basically we did a loan over to the PLOC and now the PLOC's got the money back and they're in a positive balance. So there's just another way, looking at these reports, 13.7% of expenditures fund general operations, 5.6 expenditures district cost share to operate the PLOC. The remaining 80.7 expenditures are used to implement district projects and programs. So we're really spending a lot of money on our programs and projects and the PLOC. Any questions?
Not for me.
Clear as a bell, right? Okay. We don't need a motion to approve that. So now we get to have our consent agenda, which is item 9.0. And I would just read the consent agenda is, well, first of all, is there any additions to the consent agenda or deletions from staff? None? Any deletions from board? Okay. So we have meeting minutes of August 19th, 2025 board workshop, meeting minutes of the August 19th board meeting, claims list and bank purchase card expenditures, Spring Lake West Iron and Hand Sand Filter Engineering Scope of Services, and Highway 13 Wetland Excavation Engineering Scope of Services. I need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Motion by Manager Boyle.
Second.
Second by Manager Burnett. There's no discussion on the consent agenda. So all in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. And Manager Boyles, you got a lot of reading to do here.
Man alive, there's excitement coming up for all of us here, folks. We have our CAC meeting Thursday, September 21st, 6 p.m. here in the City Hall building, but downstairs in the Wagon Bridge Conference Room. It is Watershed Week, is it not? Beginning September 28th and concluding on October 4th, and I appreciate I'm going to repeat things here, but then there'll be no question about people remembering them. Headwater Lakes Prior Lake Tour is on the 28th from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m., and it departs from right here at the City Hall building. We have Nature Writing with Lori Ullman on October 1st from 9:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. to 2 p.m., and that commences at Spring Lake Township Hall. Geocaching Adventure will take place on, I think that's Friday, October 3rd, from 4 to 6 p.m. At Spring Lake Regional Park South Entrance, which is located at 2201 Spring Lake Road, Briar Lake. We have an invasive buckthorn bust, and if you like to pull trees out, especially trees which are a pain, these buckthorn, because we've all got way too many of them. Huh?
Wear gloves.
Wear gloves, yes. Our buckhorn bust will take place on October 4th, 10 a.m. To noon at 2541 South Shore Drive, Prior Lake. Don't miss Watershed Week. You'll be very unhappy that you did. The Board of Managers will meet on Tuesday, October 21st, 4 p.m. In their work session, as they typically do.
We'll have to be in the City Hall chamber.
Yes, thank you.
Right.
Because of the upcoming election and early voting, we will be in this room, the City Council chambers, rather than in Parkview. And finally, our formal manager meeting will take place same date, Tuesday, October 21st, 6 p.m., and here in the council chambers. And that is it.
Great job. Great job, Manager Boyle. Great job. Okay, we're at a point of our meeting to call for a motion to adjourn. Motion by Manager Topinelli. Second. Manager Burnett has the second. All in favor of the motion to adjourn, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Are you opposing? Aye. Motion carried 3-1. Manager Boyle wants to stay. Good night, everybody. We're done at 6:35.
Well done.
Got to get those.